Please subscribe to my channel to help me grow. The first time I saw the text, my chest seized so hard I couldn't breathe. Can't wait to see you tonight, Red Heart. Sent from my wife's phone to someone saved as Mike. My hand trembled as I stared at the screen. The room suddenly too bright, too loud. I replayed it over and over, trying to convince myself it was a mistake. Some flirty autocorrect nightmare. But the casual intimacy of that heart emoji, the simplicity of the words, it felt like a knife twisting in me. Couldn't act rashly, not yet. I needed proof, something undeniable. I trailed her subtly for a week, noting the late nights, the phone calls she answered in whispers, the sudden flurry of secrecy. I knew Mike's name from a brief mention in passing. A coworker, she said, harmless. But the unease that gripped me every time I saw them together finally became unbearable. Then I found the photo, the one she'd foolishly left on the table for me to see. A picture of her and him, smiling too closely, hands brushing in a way no friendship could explain. My stomach churned with a cocktail of rage and disbelief. How could she do this to us? To me? The love I thought we shared, the life we built. It all felt like it was built on sand, ready to collapse at any moment. I needed control, clarity, and perhaps a reckoning. That's when the idea hit me, sharp and cunning. If she could betray me, perhaps she'd be powerless in front of someone she couldn't deceive. I would invite Mike's wife to dinner. Let her sit across from the woman I loved, oblivious to the betrayal she herself unknowingly suffered. I rehearsed the scenario endlessly, imagining the tension coiling in the air, the cracks I could expose. Dinner was arranged under the guise of casual friendship. Mike's wife arrived, warm and unsuspecting, radiating trust that pierced me like a blade. My wife, of course, had no idea what was coming. She smiled, poured wine, and chatted with practiced charm. The conversation felt light, but every word was a wire stretched taut with danger. Every laugh a trigger waiting to explode. I watched them closely. Every glance my wife stole at her phone. Every flicker of recognition when Mike's name slipped. My heart pounded. The air seemed heavier with each passing minute, charged with an invisible current of truth. I let it simmer, savoring the tension as I guided the conversation toward loyalty, trust, and honesty in marriage. Then the moment came. Mike's wife, laughing at a joke my wife made, mentioned casually, "Mike always texts me late at night. Sometimes he says things I think I shouldn't hear." My stomach dropped. My wife's face paled just enough for me to see the panic in her eyes. The words hung between them, heavy and accusing, and suddenly the perfect veneer of civility cracked. "Late at night?" my wife murmured, voice tight. "Oh no, that must be nothing." But I could see the lie trembling at the edges of her words, the instinctive defensive shift, the subtle tightening of her jaw. The rest of the evening became a chessboard of half-truths and veiled admissions. Mike's wife began piecing it together, her eyes darting, searching, realizing. I felt a strange mixture of satisfaction and despair as the reality settled around us like a thick fog. My wife's secrets were unraveling, but so was something in me. Love, trust, hope, all disintegrating into a quiet, consuming grief. By the end, no words were necessary. The silence screamed volumes. Mike's wife left with a soft, almost imperceptible nod, a silent acknowledgement of betrayal. My wife's eyes met mine, and I finally understood that the woman I loved, the partner I trusted, had chosen someone else, leaving me alone with my heartbreak and the cold, heavy truth. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I simply let the moment stretch, letting the weight of our shattered lives settle around us, knowing that some wounds can't be healed, only endured. This was the night I realized love can be both intoxicating and destructive, that trust, once broken, leaves scars deeper than any blade could carve. And in that quiet, horrifying aftermath, I saw the woman I loved, and the woman I didn't know, sitting right across from me, and the world we built was gone forever.